Okay, so we'll get started in seated mountain pose. So you want to make sure your feet are flat on the floor, and that pillow can be either behind your lower back or you can move it up higher. So wherever you feel like you need the most support. We're going to focus on posture. Today's class is going to be kind of like two different things. We're going to be doing a lot of work for stress reduction through breathing and through movement. But in addition to that, we'll also focus on the neck and the shoulders, because when we do have stress, we have a tendency to hold a lot of tension in this area. So we'll do some stretches and some movements to help to alleviate some of that. But as always, we're going to start with our breathing. So you're just going to rest your hands gently on your legs, anywhere on your thighs, and check your shoulders. Like if you already started like this, just relax those shoulders down and close your eyes. And we're just going to feel our contact points of our feet on the floor and your sitting bones on your chair. So be feeling the connection to the ground. And that's where we have our base of support. And then from there, I want you to think about growing taller. So lengthening through the spine. You have your pillow back there to kind of not allow you to slump. So you can sit back into your chair and see if you can feel there's a lengthening between your tailbone and the very top of your head. And through that, we're going to start the breathing. So we're going to start with just about 4 rounds of just your regular breath, however it's showing up as we begin the practice. And you're just noticing it. Where do you feel it? Noticing if it's deep or shallow. Okay, so for our nervous system to feel safe, our breath should be deeper. When I say deeper, it means like you should feel it down towards your lower rib cage and your belly. Not that you're going to take this big, huge breath in, but this is where we're going to be able to feel it. So it can be a smaller breath. It doesn't have to be a big like this, because then when we start to breathe like that, it goes way up here and we start to create tension up into our neck and shoulders. So we really want to just feel the breath moving down. The diaphragm is like right at those ribs. So when you're breathing in, the diaphragm is moving down, which is allowing us to like pull the breath in and fill up the lungs. And then when we're exhaling, the diaphragm is lifting and it's helping you to push that breath out. So the organs are moving, right? Because the diaphragm is going up and down. So when you breathe in, you'll feel your belly kind of pooching out a little bit because the diaphragm is pushing the organs down. And then when you exhale, you're going to feel your belly going in because the diaphragm is now lifting and the organs can move back to their place. So we're just going to focus on about, and I'll let you kind of pick it, but I want you to try to make your exhales 2 or 3 or even 4 counts longer than your inhale. So we'll start out with a 4 count breath in, and then you're going to exhale your breath out. And you can count it and see how long it is. So sometimes we end our breath too short, and you probably have more air in there that's kind of way down deep in the lower nodes of your lungs. So that's why I want you to really extend the exhalation so that we're pushing out all the air, so that when your next breath comes in, you're able to take a fuller, deeper breath. So the breath is slow and gentle, and then also deep. And you should just be able to feel the rib cage and the belly. You should not feel anything in your chest, and you should not feel your shoulders lifting up towards the ears. Keep the breath deep, keep it low. And just do whatever is possible for you. Don't over stress about it. Just if you can just focus on the breath being down here and not up here, you're already doing diaphragmatic breathing. So when we do this diaphragmatic breath, it's turning our nervous system away from being stressed and into being more relaxed. And that's what we want. Let's do about 4 more on your own. And then 1 more. And fully exhaling. Okay, and now we're going to join our palms together, thumb knuckles at the heart space. We're going to start with our intention for your practice and just focusing on really being calm and relaxed throughout the practice. And then once you've set your intention, we're just going to let it go. So extending your arms out away from the heart and letting it float out. Okay, so if you can just maintain this relaxing breath throughout the practice as we do these movements and noticing if you start to feel like you're starting to get anxious, then I want you to really focus on bringing the breath down. If anything feels uncomfortable to you, then you're just going to stop and maybe skip an exercise or modify it, whatever feels appropriate to you. We're going to start up here with the neck. So when we do this neck stretch, I want you to go really gentle with yourself. There's all sorts of variations of discomfort that can show up when we're working the neck, especially if you're already holding a lot of stress up here. So when I say ear to shoulder, I don't mean literally put your ear on your shoulder, that you're tilting your head in that direction. So that is aiming towards the shoulder, not meaning that you're going to try to put your ear there. So what I don't want you to do is jam your shoulder up into your ear. I want you to keep the shoulders relaxed, and we're just going to be tilting the head in that direction. So that's what we're going to start out with. So we're going to breathe in first, and then you're exhaling, you're going to let your right ear tilt towards the right shoulder. Now you're going to feel some maybe tension on the opposite side. What you could do is let that arm dangle. We're going to also move the head a little bit. So I'm going to allow you to just kind of explore. Maybe bringing your chin slightly down to the chest. So you're going to be looking towards the floor. And you can add like little tiny movements here. You can just nod yes or no. And the whole time we're just maintaining this breath and just being present with whatever shows up. And then we're going to take our chin and I want you to bring it to the center. So you're looking straight down towards the floor, and you can just rest both your hands on your thighs. We're going to move to the other side. So you're going to gently bring your chin over to the left and then lifting up a little bit just to let that ear tilt towards the opposite shoulder. And then you can take your right arm and relax it. And then just noticing like what is the difference between two sides. And also want you to pay attention to your posture when we're doing this. So if you notice that you start slumping forward, I want you to bring your upper body back so you're still against the pillow there. And then, just inviting some movement in here, maybe just nodding yes or no, but these movements are tiny. We're getting into these muscles on the side of the neck. And now we're going to again bring the chin to the center so you're looking straight down to the floor. And then on your next exhale, we're going to bring our head back up to neutral. And the next variation of the stretch, we're actually going to use a little bit of isometric contraction. So when I'm telling you to do this one is when you tilt your head to the shoulder, you're going to take your hand and place it above your ear. We're not pulling the head down, we're actually pushing the head up into your hand. And it's going to feel a little different. So if you let your ear tilt towards the shoulder again, and then just take your right hand, place it on the side of your head, just right above your ear. You're going to gently push down, but you're going to push more up and away into your fingers. And again, can let this left arm relax. And diaphragmatic breathing. We'll take about 3 breaths here. And we're just holding this one. We're not doing any sort of movement. We're just breathing and holding, stretch. And the whole time you're just pushing your head up and away from your shoulder and into your fingers. And then as you release it, you're going to remove your hand first and then just use your hands on the other side of your head to allow the head to come back up to neutral. and then release the arm. And if you want to, you can move your head around, maybe looking right to left, looking up and down. Okay, and if that didn't feel good to you, you could always go back to just doing what we did previously, which is moving the head around with your head tilted. Okay, other side. First, tilt the head. And if you don't want to do the arm thing, you can skip that part if it really was bothersome and just do the movement of the head. Otherwise, your finger's going to go right above your ear and just let that right arm dangle. And then we're going to be pushing. Remember, our head is going to be pushing up to the fingers more than your fingers pushing down into your head. And then diaphragmatic breath. You can close your eyes, just become aware of sensation. You'll be feeling the sensation on the opposite side of your tilting. All the way down to the belly, completely relax. And then you're going to move your fingers to the opposite side of the head and just assist it to bring it back up to neutral. And then you can also move your head once it gets there, down and up, right to left. All right, shoulders. Now we're going to do shrugging. Okay, so we're going to shrug the shoulders up. Notice what that feels like. You're going to take 4 counts to release them down. So you're going to go 4, 3, 2, 1, and they should be all the way down and relaxed. We do it again. Shrug up, and then releasing down for 4 counts. 2 and 1, and then last one, shrugging up, hold it. Notice what that feels like, and now we're softening them down nice and slow. And then we're going to do circles. You're going to go up and then pull the shoulders back and then down and around. Let's go 2 more. Really slow and controlled. There's no rush here. Let it feel good. And then we're going to reverse it. Shoulders back and then up and forward and down. Good. All right, hands on your thighs. We're going to do movement of the spine, and you still have the pillow back there. So we're going to be pushing our lower back and middle back into the pillow as we exhale. You're going to bring your chin to look towards the floor, so it's towards your chest. And then as you inhale, we're going to sit up straight. So we're not going to go into extension just yet. So we're just going to go into that cat pose on your exhale. Inhale, sitting tall. And again, you push down into your feet. You can push your hands into your thighs, back into the pillow. And inhale, sit tall. You can stay with this one, but if you want to add extension, the next time, instead of just going to neutral, you're going to move your chest forward and try to pull your lower back away from the pillow. And then we'll exhale all the way into your cat pose. And then inhale into cow. So you can skip this one and just go right to neutral, or you can move through the whole range of motion. And if anything is aggravated, then you're just going to reduce the range. One more. And then let's go back to sitting tall. Arms are just dangling here, shoulders relaxed. So we're going to do side bending today with our arms just relaxed here. The reason being is because if we do a side bend and we take our arm up and over, it has a tendency to bring that trap into lifting up again by your ears. So we're going to try to keep those shoulders relaxed. So first thing we're going to do is sit tall, and then we're just going to allow the ear to tilt towards that right shoulder, and then we're going to tip over. I always imagine watch a candle, like the wax dripping down the side. So that's what you kind of want to feel like as you move into the side bend. We're going to keep both the hips equally weighted on the chair. And then we're going to use that exhalation to come all the way back up. And then sitting tall, take a breath in. And then exhale, we're going to melt down the other side. And you can let your ear move to the shoulder as we're doing this. So don't try to control the head, just let it go. Let gravity do its job. Come down as far as you can. Take a breath in and then exhale. You're using your abdominals to help pull you back up. Tall spine. Let's do one more each side. Breathing in first. exhale, melting down. Ear to shoulder, and then just keep reaching your fingertips towards the floor. Doesn't mean it's gonna touch it, that's the direction we're going. Inhale, exhale, straightening back up again. Big breath in, and then exhale, other side. I'm just noticing if you can come down a little bit further on the second round. Inhale, exhale, all the way back up. All right, now we're gonna take our arms out in front. We're gonna cross them, and it doesn't matter which direction because we're gonna do both. Just remember which elbow's on top. Giving yourself a hug. So with this one, we're going to do side bending, right to left, and you're just gonna move with your own breathing pattern. And again, you can let the ear tilt to the shoulder. Okay, and then we're finishing up here, coming all the way back up, straight spine. Release the arms, let's circle them up. And then as you come down, opposite elbow goes on top. And you're just holding on to opposite shoulders. And this one we're gonna do rounding the spine forward and coming back to neutral or finding extension. Again, we're pushing spine into pillows, you come forward, and then you can either stop at neutral or you can find extension if you want to lift your chest up and look up. So chin to chest. And chin either neutral or ceiling. And last one. And then release those arms down and allow them to just simply relax. Okay, so now we're going to take the pillow out. You can just set it off to the side for now. And I want you to slide forward a little bit further into your chair. And we're going to put our hands on our thighs and we're going to start moving into lower body stuff. And we're just going to be warming up for standing. So we take a peek down at your feet. I want you to lift and spread your toes, lift them off the floor, and then place them down. And then I want you to lift your heels up. Lift up as high as you can. And then release those down. And we'll do that again. Lift the toes, put them down, and then lift your heels up as high as you can. And one more each way. Toes, and then heels. And then heels are going to go down. And now we're going to step our feet out. And we're just going to do a nice stretch. We're going to get a little bit of rotation going here in the spine. And you're going to let your head stay nice and relaxed, shoulders relaxed. So let's just place your left forearm down and we're just going to take a big circle, reaching out and around. So we're going to circle. You can take your gaze and just follow the hand around, or you can just fix your gaze down to the floor. Good, one more circle. And then we're going to come all the way back up, placing both hands on your thighs, hinging forward about 1/3 of the way. And then we're going to rotate and turn to look over one shoulder, then back to center, and then the other. So you're just going to stay in this slightly hinged forward position. So we're not letting the spine come all the way back up to neutral. And we'll just do one more each side. And then you'll come back to center, and then you're going to now place your right arm down, just let it rest on the forearm, and we're going to be circling the left arm. And again, play with this. Let your head move if it feels good, or just hold it still. You can look down at the floor. And then I want you to make sure that we're finding this easy, relaxed breath with the movement. Good, one more rotation. And then hands come back, sit up tall, and we're going to do one more of those rotations. So hinging forward 1/3, and then start turning each direction. And your hands are just kind of keeping those thighs apart. We're not letting those knees collapse towards the midline. And we're turning the ribs and the chest and the shoulders, the head and the neck. Good, finishing up here. Coming all the way back up, and then you can just tap your feet together. All right, so we're going to come up to standing next. So go ahead and walk your feet in just slightly. shift forward, and then hands are gonna go on your thighs. We're gonna take a breath in, find that long spine, hinge as we exhale and push down into your feet. We're gonna come all the way up to stand. Just gonna adjust my camera real quick here. Okay, so we're gonna stand like right next to our chair. If you need to make some space there, you can, and standing next to it. One hand is gonna go on the chair, and we're gonna do that side bend again. So you can either just let your hand be on the chair and just melt over. If you want to add the hand, you can put your hand behind your head and just kind of go down that way, right? Just feel the stretch on the side body. And then slowly coming up. And we'll do that again. We're filling up, we're opening up space here for the ribs, this on this side specifically, to open up for breath. So take a nice full inhale and then exhale, coming up. And we'll do one more, breathing in and exhaling, returning. All right, so we're going to step our feet out here just a little bit wider, and we're going to turn the foot closest to the chair so that the toes are aimed underneath. And then the back foot's going to turn in slightly. And we're going to take our arms apart with the palms facing up, which helps to keep the shoulders out of the ears. And we're going to put a bend in the front knee. So you're just going to touch the edge of the chair. So we'll be in this warrior two position. And we're just going to do some really fluid movement. All right. So don't worry about what it looks like. We're going to go reverse warrior and then coming forward to like side angle pose. And you're just going to have your arms flowing like this. So they're not going to be like landing anywhere. Just going to do the flow. Your only thing is touching the chair is going to be your knee. And that's just reminding you to keep it bent, because as it starts to straighten, you won't feel it there anymore, right? So if you notice that, just put it back there and just breathe and move. Nice and fluid. So just being in our bodies, right, with movement like this, it takes us right out of that stress response. So we can be really relaxed and just flow with our breath. And then once you start to feel like you're losing that breath, then just take a pause and just reconnect and then start moving again. Okay, last one, and then we're going to release our arms down. We'll step our feet together, so we'll be in mountain pose. Deep breath in. Exhale, sigh it up, let everything go. We're going to walk around to the other side. And again, we're going to be standing next to the chair. So we're going to do that side bend again. So this focus is going to be opening up this side rib so you can get more breath in. Hand can be here. And if you just want to melt over, take a full breath in and then exhale, standing up. If you want to add the arm, you can. You can have place it behind the back of your head, go over, full breath in, exhale, coming up. And one more, breathing in and exhale, coming back up. Now we're going to do the similar pose on this side. I'm going to change it up a little bit, but we'll still do the feet wide, and we're still going to turn the foot out for warrior two, and you'll bend that knee, just let it touch. Back foot's turned in, and we'll have our arms out like this. So we'll start out with our breathing. So we're going to inhale, reach up, and exhale, reach forward. And now we're going to change it. So now we're going to go ahead and straighten that front leg as your arms reach out. And then you're going to bend them. Bend the front knee as you reach over. And we're going to straighten leg reaching up. So this will be like a reverse triangle. And then side angle. Push down into your foot, straighten the leg as you reach up. And bend the knee as you reach up and over. Breathing in and breathing out. And now we're going to come back to warrior two, palms up, let those shoulders drop. Turn your head forward, turn your head back, turn your head forward, turn your head back. Relax the arms down, straighten the leg, step your feet together. We're going to stand behind the chair, so you can just orient it differently if you want to stand behind it, if you don't have space. And we're gonna put our fingertips on the chair. We're gonna stand up nice and straight, shoulders relaxed, gaze is out in front of you. We're gonna push into the toes. We're gonna elevate the heels off the floor and we're going to lower them down. Keep going with this one. Lift and lower. Go do 3 more. And 1 more. All right, and then go ahead and place your hands, walk your feet back. And we'll go into this upside down letter L shape. Knees can be soft. Shoulders are just kind of relaxing. So if you notice that your shoulders are just rising up by your ears, just put a little soft bend in your elbows. Try to lengthen your neck. Thinking about the crown of the head moving towards the chair and your tailbone reaching back behind you. And let's breathe into the belly from here. And fully exhale. 2 more. And 1 more. All right, and then look ahead. We're literally gonna step just the right foot forward. So it moves towards your chair. And you can step in a little bit with the back foot. The back leg will be straight, the front one is bent. And we'll be in this warrior 1 shape so that your hips and your shoulders are square to the mat and to the chair that's in front of you. So with the arms on this one, we're gonna do cactus arms. So you're gonna bring them out in front and then you're bending your elbows and you're gonna pull them out to the side. And then we're gonna just bring the elbows together and apart. Together and apart. So let's exhale together. Inhale, pull apart. Exhale, inhale. 2 more. Okay, pull them apart. Straighten the arms. And now you're gonna bring your hands behind your back. You can either rest your hands on your low back, or you can interlace your fingers, whatever is comfortable. And then if your hands are interlaced, see if you can straighten the arms. And we're just going to pull the arms down, relax the face, relax the shoulders, and we're going to hold this and breathe. And if you want to, you could do some neck movements. You could turn your head right to left. You can bring your chin to the ceiling and chin down. And noticing how that kind of messes with your balance a little bit. So this is good. Focusing on stability of the legs. 2 more. And then just release the arms, fingers find their way back to the chair. And now you're going to step that right back and we're going to take that stretch again. Knees are soft, spine is long. 3 belly breaths. In through the nose, out through the nose. The last one. And now we're going to step the left foot forward towards the chair and put a bend in the front leg, back leg straight. So we're just switching sides. You can adjust your stance, hips and shoulders square to the front. Breathing in, arms out in front, elbows bend, and then we're going to go apart and together. And if your elbows and hands don't touch, that's fine. Just get them as close as they can. And we're just working that mid back. Inhale apart, exhale together, last one. And then arms are going to come down. And then now as we're doing this, if you did your hands behind your back, just switch whatever one was on top. And if your hands were interlaced, put the opposite thumb on top. And then get straight arms if you can. Relax shoulders and just hold. So if your hands are interlaced, reach knuckles towards the floor. If your arms on your low back, try to pull the elbows towards each other. It's going to give you a big stretch in the front. Okay, breathe. And you can add head movements if you want. You can do up and down, side to side. You can also do tilting, right? If you want to try that. And if it feels good just to do one or the other, just hold it. You can just hold chin to chest or chin to ceiling. And you're maintaining that diaphragmatic, relaxed breath. Good. One more inhale. Fully exhale and then release. Fingers find the chair. Now you're stepping forward and we're gonna do heel raises again, up and down. And now we're gonna add a little chair pose to this one. So you're gonna bend your knees back, hips go back, knees go forward, and then exhale, push into your feet and lift the heels up. Inhale, bend the knees to reach the hips back. Exhale, stand and heels lift. Keep going with this one. Bending and straightening. Last one. And then standing up. We're going to find our way back to the chair. So walk in front of it. Stand in front of it, cross your arms, gently have a seat. Hands rest on your thighs. Take a moment after doing our standing postures, close your eyes. Find your breath again. Put your hands on your belly, hands on your ribs. And we're just going to finish up here with a nice hip stretch. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple options with this one. If you want to grab your pillow, you could just have that available just in case you need it. We're going to start with the right leg. So you're going to lift it up off the floor, let it feel heavy in your hands. And then we're just going to do a few of these, open and close. And we're going to go to figure 4 or seated pigeon. You're going to cross your ankle on top of your thigh like this. If it's not able to get there, you can just cross it in front of your shin. You can also prop it up on a pillow or on any other object that you might have there, just so you have this little bit of external rotation. Okay, so wherever you are, we're going to sit tall. We're going to take a breath in. And as you exhale, we're going to come 1/4 of the way forward. And if that's where you feel the most sensation, that's where you're stopping. So we hold a lot of stress and tension, not just in our shoulders, but also in our hips. So this is designed to try to release any tension we're holding here, but we don't want to go into too much, right? So too much sensation can also cause us to go fight flight. We want to keep it nice and relaxed. So check your breath. Your breath is going to be your guide. Close your eyes. And if you feel like you need more, you're just going to come forward just a little bit more. And then once you reach a spot where you feel enough sensation without causing your breath to change, that's where you're going to hold. And you're going to maintain that diaphragmatic breath all the way in, all the way out. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then just take your time to come all the way up, sitting tall. And then you can uncross. And you're going to do a little windshield wiper. So you're going to go up on your toes, holding onto the sides of your chair, and just let the knees, they can either go together or they can go apart and together, whatever feels good. Okay, we're going to prepare to do the other side. So again, sit up tall, feel both your sit bones anchored to the chair, reach down, grab underneath the left leg, lift it up, move it out and in. And you know your body, right? So one side usually tighter than the other. So if you know like this one's going to be more challenging, they might already have that prop ready to go. And then if you're able to, get that ankle lifted up, place it on top, sit tall. And remember, we're going in slow. Your breath is your guide, so pay attention. If your breath is up here because you went too fast, then slow it down, come back and just start over again. Close your eyes, breathe. Gently move forward 1/4 of an inch, whatever it is, go slow. There's no race to the finish line with this one. It's just being patient and kind to yourself. And we're just letting go of chronic hold tension in the body. Exhales longer than inhales. And your exhale is like where the magic happens. That's what we let go of that stuff, let go of that tension, let go of the worry, let go of the stress. Last breath. And slowly coming up. Uncross, release. And then up on the toes again, windshield wipers, either this way or this way. Okay, release, and we're going to do a hamstring stretch. So you might want to even come further forward onto your seat, and we're extending out one leg at a time. So we'll start with that right leg, and we're going to flex and point. So you're just sending the toes down to the floor, and we're drawing them back. And we'll do about 3 more of those. So we're going to do the whole leg, noticing any sensation in the hamstring all the way down to your ankle. Now we're going to hold it in the flex position. And now the same thing we did with the figure 4 stretch, we're going to move forward just until we meet sensation. Some of us might meet the sensation higher up, and some of us might meet it down closer to the knee joint. But either way, at the knee joint or at the sit bone, which are the 2 attachments here, you might feel more sensation, but you also might be feeling somewhere in the middle. So close your eyes, and again, just being curious as we move forward into this hamstring stretch. Always pay attention to your breath. And if it starts to become short and shallow, back it up a little and stay where you're not getting too much sensation. Remember, if your nervous system is already like anxious and stressed, you're not stretching your hamstrings at all because they're just like, nope. Because they're getting ready to run. Fight and flight means I'm on the go. I need to get out of here. I need to run. All these muscles are turned on. When we're in this rest and digest state, their nervous system is telling them it's okay to relax, and now you can stretch. So that's why it's super important that we're always in a state of rest and digest, especially when we're doing yoga. Sometimes it's harder to get there at the beginning, but then as we move and start to flow a little bit, things start to really down-regulate. Okay, we're coming back up slow. Bending the knee. Just take a moment before we switch sides. So maybe you feel already different, right, between the 2 stretches that we just did, especially on the side where we did both figure 4 and hamstring stretch. Now we're going to hit the other side. So you're going to straighten out the leg, sit up tall. We're going to flex and point to start. So you're just sending the toes to the floor and then drawing them back towards the shin. And you might already be feeling a lot of sensation moving up the back of the leg here. Now we're going to hold it in that flex position, toes point to ceiling. Now we're moving the torso forward, slow. Close your eyes. And just find a spot, right? Where does it feel good? We're going to maintain this relaxed breathing and just hold it there. And then if your body, and only if your body invites you in deeper, then go ahead and go, but just make sure that you can still maintain that relaxed breathing. Great, last breath. Exhale, coming up. Bringing that foot in, sit up tall, hands on your thighs, and let's just go a couple rounds of cat and cow before we end and go into our Shavasana. So we're exhaling, rounding. See if you feel different from the first time we did this one at the beginning of class. If your spine feels a little bit more mobile, if your breath feels fuller, if your body feels more relaxed. Okay, go ahead and grab your pillow, place it behind your back again. And then scooch back so you feel that support. And again, you can place it either low or mid back, whatever feels comfortable. Let's go ahead and reach those arms out. We're going to do a little bit of rotations here, rotating the arms, bring them out in front, make some wrist circles, wiggle your fingers, shake it out. And then you can hold onto the chair. You can take one leg at a time, shake it out. If it feels okay to do both legs at a time, just give them a little shake. And then set your feet down, place your hands on your lower belly, and close your eyes. Take a full breath in. Exhale, let it just flow out of your mouth, this first one. So just like a sigh. And then just breathe naturally in and out of your nose. And let your breath feel relaxed and at ease. Let it flow gently in through the nose and out through your nose. And just feel your whole body beginning to relax, releasing tension in the face and the jaw, the neck and the shoulders. And then from the tops of your shoulders all the way down to your hands and fingers. Relaxing from the base of your neck all the way down your spine to your tailbone. And then from your sitting bones all the way down the backs of the legs to the bottoms of your feet. And just soften your toes. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, relaxing up the front, tops of the feet, fronts of the legs, all the way up to your belly. And then just softening your belly, your ribs, your chest. And if you notice any places where you're still holding or still trying to effort, I want you to just focus on that area, send your breath there, and simply tell it to relax. Yeah, so you can talk to your body. Sometimes it listens. Okay, so we're going to start to invite some movement. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. And then if you would like to, you can take a stretch, maybe reach the arms up, you can stretch your legs out. And then we're going to make our way back into our seated mountain pose. And you're welcome to keep that pillow back there, just to find that posture again where we're sitting tall, feet flat on the floor. Close your eyes, just take a moment to see how you're feeling. And then we'll gather up that intention that you said at the beginning of class, bring it back into your heart. Take a moment to acknowledge it. Take a moment to thank yourself for being here today. And then on your next in-breath, we're going to move the thumb knuckles up to your third eye point, the space between your eyebrows. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for joining me today.